Let's talk about books, Jody. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the weird things and the good things that we read. Let's talk about books.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to Adjacent Book Club. We have a very special guest.
Look,
Did you hear that? If you haven't opened a beverage, go ahead and go and get a beverage real quick or pop an edible. We're having book club today. It is a great day before the start of the week. So, Shelly, who do we have in the book club house today?
Well, we have a very special guest who is going to be dropping his very own podcast with us. You're going to be blown away. It's Vincent LeCornu, and his podcast is called Conspiracy Farm.
What?
All the conspiracy theories, all of Jody's favorite things.
Yes. I always find them quite fascinating. We're going to let Vincent talk a little bit about that on the end before we wrap up our book club. But before we start, have you guys been up to anything fun? Have you been around town? Have y'all gone anywhere? What's been going on in your lives?
We went to Loudmouth. It's a pizza place on the east side. It's so good. Highly recommend. And we went there twice this weekend. It was a lot of
Really good.
It is. They have great pizzas and salads, and sometimes they have live music, and it's a great venue. Recommend. Large groups can come together. It would be a good happy hour location, Jody, for teachers and stuff like that.
6 more weeks.
6 more weeks. That's right. Yay! Almost done.
So fun. What did you do, Vincent? What have you been up to?
Oh boy, I've been trying to relax and sleep as much as possible because these are like some of my few consecutive days off. Basically, we're desperately trying to hire new people at my job, and can't, I don't want to talk too much about my job because there's, it's
I work unimportant.
Yes.
Unimportant.
And but
it pays the bills.
Yes, but you have to go the hiring. Let me put it this way: the hiring process at probably any large organization is going to be a nightmare. Dealing with the HR rules and what questions can I ask during interviews and whatnot. But I will say it's almost got me depressed because I feel really bad for the young people who are stuck in this nightmare economy, because we've got people who are obviously just desperate to get out of California. We had people, applicants who they're trying to move somewhere close to Austin. They want to get into Texas for different reasons. And you see people trying to figure out, well, gosh, if I move, could I get an apartment in Marble Falls and still work in downtown Austin? How remote can we get? That sort of thing. And so, for state government, especially, the return to work initiatives are on the books now. And so you did have people who were attempting to do remote work who are finding that they're not going to continue to be able to do it, and so now they're going to have to get another job or relocate, and there's just a lot of chaos and anxiety out there. And so when we're not hiring, I don't have to look at it. We don't have to mess with the job market much, but once we are we have to go out and look for people, we're like, oh my god, there's a lot of desperation.
It's really sad
out there. I'm sorry to bring everybody down.
It's okay.
No.
And based off of your conspiracy theories, why do you think all this desperation is going on? I'm just kidding. Save it for you.
Save it for your podcast.
Yeah. Well, inflation is crazy. One last thing I'll say is I was watching a movie with someone, and they were talking about dollar amounts from the late 90s, and we're thinking they were talking about $100,000, and I was thinking that more than $250,000 now. The difference. Looking at inflation, the value in things are so different now, just between 1999 and now. It seems like a long time. The dollar is going the way of the peso, right?
And and the I don't know if y'all received your property tax notice.
I did, but I didn't open it because I told you I was already depressed.
Exactly.
I don't need to.
Yeah, we don't need more. We don't need to pile it on. Oh my God. So this week I spent time with the family. We did a lot of cooking and getting ready for hanging out. Did some work out at the ranch. You guys have to come back out. So fun. We'll put on our
Oh yeah.
we'll have our tinfoil house up there for you. And then the kids were all there, and I love hanging out with each and every one of them. And we just, had great times with Graham and Bob and Nadia and all of them. So it was super great. I'm so glad I went. I missed the baseball series, which always bums me out, but that's okay. I'll get the next one. It'll be fine.
Well,
Not actually next
came that Thursday.
I did, but I didn't get to stay as long as I wanted. But we're going to rectify that. So I am so proud of those Longhorns, but we'll get into that at a later time. So,
Yeah, it's very, very exciting to watch baseball these days. For sure.
Yes, it's very different. All right, Vincent, what have you been reading, or what have you read, or
watched?
Yeah.
We say, what have you consumed, either book-wise, music-wise, TV, videos? What have you consumed recently?
Gosh, I've been trying to manage my mood, trying to stay, not stressed out. So I've been watching like old movies, so with friends. So most recent one I saw was Jackie Brown, and I like that movie. It's very calm and quiet. It's based on a book that I haven't read. Well, I will say the last book that I downloaded for Kindle, it's been maybe a decade before I bought something on paper, but the last book I downloaded was a book about alien abductions by John Mack.
What?
John Mack. Yeah, there was a Harvard trained psychologist in the 1990s who caught wind of some of these accounts of alien abduction, and he started getting into it, and he concluded that it was a real, like he said, I can't say for a fact that what these people say happened to them happened. I wasn't there. I don't have a recording, but he says that I can prove as a psychologist that they are suffering from real trauma that can't be faked. So something horrible has happened to these people, and this is how they're experiencing it. But they are experiencing something. So it's kind of a,
what's the name of it again?
Oh, shoot. I'll have to find but John Mack. That's
okay.
It's I keep wanting to say it's just called Abductions. But JOHNMACK, John Mack. If you put John Mack alien abduction, boom, his book will pop up.
Yes. Okay. So that, I think that's so great that he just mainly talked about how he didn't know what happened, but he can tell physically and emotionally that they're suffering from some level of trauma. I'm not happy that they were doing that, but it wasn't like he was trying to say yes or no, this happened to them. So it's called Abduction, Human Encounters with Aliens. And so it sounds like John Edward Mack was an American psychiatrist, writer, and professor of psychiatry. He served as the head of the Department of Psychiatry at Harvard Medical School from 1977 to 2004. And he won the Pulitzer Prize for the book, The Prince of Our Disorder. Wow, interesting. I'm really fascinated.
So when that was the thing, when he started taking abduction seriously, everybody kind of freaked out because they're like, wait a minute.
This Harvard doctor.
And he interviewed, he also interviewed dozens of school children in Africa from Zimbabwe who had an encounter with the gray. And there's a great movie. It's a documentary. It's called The Phenomenon. And this happened in 1993. So in 1993 in Zimbabwe, these African school children came across an alien landed in their school, and all these kids saw it, and it had so much attention that John Mack went and interviewed the kids, and he had them draw the alien, and so like, you know, what did they see and that sort of thing. It's really weird because this James Fox, who's a filmmaker, a documentary filmmaker, he tracked those kids down, the kids from 1993, and he found them, and it was a rural private school, really small, and so a lot of the kids that went there were from some of the, you know, wealthier families. So a lot of these kids are like environmental scientists now. They're like contract lawyers. They've moved on, gone to other countries and everything, and but he brought them back to a room, and it's weird because one lady started crying, thinking about the experience again. Yeah, and and they one lady said that she had this overwhelming sense of guilt because when the alien when it looked in her eyes, it she started to have images of environmental devastation, like flooding and famine and that kind of thing. And basically,
like he shared with me.
Yeah, she said it was a vision of the dangers of technology, and she said that really bothered her as a kid because she was kind of angry about it because she resented the fact that this thing would come along and put that kind of burden on her mind. She's like, I was like a little kid. What am I don't need to be worried about the dangers of technology. What was that even about? You know? And so, these kids had a really emotional reaction to it.
Wow.
So, and it's all in there, John Mack. Now, John Mack, that book is mostly about there's a lot of transcripts from hypnosis sessions.
Mm.
Because, you know, in Men in Black, they have that neuralizer thing. Okay, so that comes from that's a joke that some writer thought was cute and came up with in the 90s, I guess, you know, in the whole X-Files vibe, you know. But ever since the 50s and 60s, there's been this idea that there are people that have, or beings that have a kind of technology that can control your memory. And a lot of the abductions involve people having their memory tinkered with. In fact, one of the symptoms of having an abduction is called quote unquote missing time. So think back into your life, and if you've ever gone on a road trip and it took you twice as long to get there as you thought, or, you know, you ended up you recall getting really tired and parking on the side of the road to take a quick nap, and then you wake up the next morning or something like if something like that happened to you, then maybe, you know, if we put you on hypnosis, you might have something. Then all of a sudden, under hypnosis, you have this terrifying memory of someone banging on the window and taking you out of your car and that kind of thing. And that's the kind of stuff John Mack dealt with.
Oh.
It reads exactly like a horror novel, especially, it's creepy to say, but especially for women, because, you know, a lot of the themes of the abduction are, we want to impregnate you with a hybrid. So those are not good stories. Anyway, that's the last book I downloaded.
May I ask you, when a hybrid is here, how do they function? Are they higher functioning?
Well, that's a huge question, because to a lot of people in ufology or people in the conspiracy field, you know, they would say that humans are by definition hybrids. That's what the two of you and me, and, you know, what we think of ourselves, what we really are it's some kind of, we're the result of off-planet tinkering with a suitable life form, you know. So in other words, so we've got this bipedal ape here in Southwest Asia, East Africa, you know, that's a candidate species. Let's take that and run with it. Let's mold it, make it more like us. And some people say that's what humans are, that we're the result of tinkering. And then some people say, well, what if there's super advanced tinkering that's been going on, where you actually have people who developed in a jar somewhere or in a lab, and now they look like people. They wear suits. They might be on TV. They might, are there people out there like that? I mean, I don't know for sure, but it's totally possible.
Vincent, on your merch, I've been tinkered with?
Tinkered with? That's kind of,
Jersey Farm, I've been tinkered with.
I love it.
I kind of have, that's what it looks like.
Uh-oh.
Somebody's going to explain this. Anytime if you go out and you look at an hour of television, if you're on the internet at all, at some point you got to take a step back and say, someone has to take responsibility for this. Who did this to the universe? Who made humans? Who put us here and caused all this trouble? Yeah.
Yes, true. Whose fault is it? Oh, well, those are very interesting. What was the name of the movie you said again?
Which was the Phenomenon. And that came out in like the 2010s, 2016, somewhere around there. James Fox. Yeah, if you want a good introduction to UFOs, like what do UFO people think is true? Basically.
Yeah.
What are all the greatest hits of ufology? That movie's pretty good because it starts, right there with Kenneth Arnold, the guy who saw the first flying saucers, and goes through Roswell all the way up through, So the Phenomenon, that's a good one. And then Moment of Contact. It's the same filmmaker, James Fox. That's his adventure into Brazil. Because in 1997, a full-on UFO crashed in broad daylight in a small town in Varginha, Brazil. And he went down there to talk to like dozens of people, who, they had the Varginha fire department had to snare one of them. They actually caught a gray in the animal control snare, so they never actually touched it. The Brazilian military sent some guys there, and one guy, I don't know what he was thinking. The other one that was running loose in the city, he grabs it with his bare hands.
Oh.
And a big part of the movie was James Fox interviewing the doctor who tried to treat the guy when he died 30 days later from massive immune reaction. So it was like he was allergic to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to shut down the hospital because the guy and the whole hospital started to smell like ammonia because, the things smell like ammonia. And they found these little girls who, you got to see the movie. It's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Moment of Contact. And it's great. Yeah. And now how do we know all this? Now he went down there and interviewed the firefighters. He found the doctor who treated the guy who grabbed the alien, the sister of the guy who grabbed the alien. He tracked down the guy who was in the truck who also saw the alien, but the guy him that if he had 30 seconds to get off his property or he would start shooting because he had taken, oath of silence or whatnot.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Anyway, those are worth seeing. That they catch you up on, like, what's
totally gonna watch them. I'm excited. I feel bad for those little kids in Zimbabwe. That must have been a trauma they couldn't.
And those two little girls, they're two little. Yeah, because I think they're like 11 or 12, I think, when they in '97 in Brazil. They were they were kind of freaked out when they found one hiding in an alleyway, and then they ran and grabbed their mother and brought their mother, and it was gone when she came back. But anyway, and it was weird. The little girls, they remembered how strongly it smelled of ammonia. These little girls, and it's so strange. They found the guy who, anyway, you'll just have to see it. It's a cool movie. James Fox has another one that's coming out soon. He's a UFO conspiracy guy. He likes to make movies in that zone. Yeah. So I've been seeing more movies than reading. I read too much. Good job,
Yeah, I get that. All right, Shelly, what did you consume this week?
I read one book. It's by Erica Bauermeister. She's written a couple books, and this one is called No Two Persons. And what this is about, and I think you'll like this, Vincent, is that everybody consumes books differently. Like, you hear a story and your reaction to it is different than the author. And and so it goes through multiple people that read this book and all of their different reactions to the book, which was fascinating to see that side of it. It's like when you, I feel like as an author, when you put a book out or you share information on a podcast or whatever, you are making an assumption that everybody's going to hear it the way you're presenting it and sharing your thoughts with somebody else. But that's not what happens at all.
Yeah, it's like when you write a text or an email, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just talking about everybody's different, drastically different reactions to the book. So, yeah, that was very, very interesting. Good read. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so there's a really great a way to explain when your text messages don't convey the right thing with Key and Peele. Do y'all remember that Keegan story where they misunderstand each other's tones in a message? I love that video because we're just like,
I remember that.
You have to watch it.
They're great.
They're hilarious. They're like, hey, do you want to hang out? And then that person would be like, yeah, like that. He'd be like, yeah, I'd like to hang out, but it would convey it like, I guess so. They would just understand each other the whole time. And then this one guy's like just being real chill, and then the other one's like, what do you mean? Like, seriously. I love PSP. I can't get enough of it. They're hilarious. Okay, so
I had a miscommunication. One of my neighbors dropped off a pineapple to our door today, and so we were like, okay, what is this about?
Just swingers.
Okay, what do we do? And so I put it out to the text chain and was like, hey, somebody dropped off a pineapple. We're debating what to do. And
are they hot? Or...
Oh yeah, it's our hot neighbors across the street. And
pineapple is like a code.
It's from the show Severance. She goes, not hitting on y'all. It
means we're interested, basically.
Yeah, if you put a pineapple in the front of your grocery cart, it conveys to people that you're like ready to hang out and date and stuff. So
okay.
Yeah, there's a whole, and now if you put it upside down, it's supposed to also basically. So it says it's a signal to shoppers in the single world that you are interested in hooking up. It gained traction with TikTok with people joking the time to hook up in Mercadona. So anyway, it's like, it's a way, if you put it upside down, it also means you're interested. And then you gently bump the other person's cart to say, I'm down.
Okay. That sounds really complicated.
Well, and I've always heard that the pineapple was a sign that you were
swingers.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've heard that.
Yeah, and so
like if you have like a pineapple welcome mat in front of your house, it's supposed to be like, or have one of those flags. Like a pineapple, it's supposed to be like, hey, what's up? Yeah.
The last little code I knew about was back in the early 2000s on 6th Street when I was a security guard. They always said if someone has a white towel, like over the, hanging out of their back pocket or over, that means they were selling crack cocaine.
Oh.
And sure enough, yeah. I mean, I was. Turns out, no, I didn't buy any. I didn't know that way. It was
Vincent.
being a card and watching on camera. Like I just follow someone who's walking up and down or hanging out on the corner with and sure enough,
That's dangerous.
eventually, hey, I was being paid to guard the building, and the building that I was working at the time, APD actually, the property owners would let APD use their cameras, kind of sit in on the camera system and take over so they could watch deals go down and arrest people. So yeah, one night in the break room, we were at that building, we were like eating our sandwiches, and in the other room, that's where APD, they were dragging in people that they had busted on their sting. And so you had people who were like, had their hands zip tied together, real mad in the other room. And anyway, I had a weird life. Working on 6th Street is a very strange.
Oh yeah.
I can imagine.
And we should say that you're a dirty.
This is like 2 blocks from I-35. This is pretty far from Congress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the nice part.
I'm so glad I don't work there anymore.
The only highlight was it was near that casino El Camino, but that shut down and caught on fire. That was the only highlight.
Which
Casino El Camino.
oh, like one of the buildings on 6th Street that caught.
Yeah,
Is that the one where you get the weird
Bloody Mary?
that had like the Bloody Mary, like a chicken finger and a hamburger? Blech.
Oh.
They were delicious.
Oh no.
They actually had the best burgers in town.
I'm sure.
They were delicious. It was greasy.
Yeah.
Probably
They never cleaned out that grease trap.
Yeah.
I wonder why it caught on fire.
Exactly.
Well, they didn't clean out the grease trap.
Fire. Yeah.
So just to clarify, my neighbors were not asking us to swing with them.
I was gonna ask.
But they it was a reference to Severance, and they want us to watch Severance.
Okay.
Oh well, that might be code too.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
I keep hearing people
for the show.
White Lotus.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know anything. Oh no, but I've heard people love it. It's apparently it's really popular. I don't know.
You should watch it with Katie. I think I would enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
Really?
Start with the first one. Yeah, y'all would like the first and the second. The third goes a little haywire, but that's the one that's getting all the blow up attention.
Oh, okay. So it's not the same exact. Each season is a different group of.
Okay,
characters.
Vincent, you're gonna have to tell us after you get through. Yes, after you get through, it's all different characters. There's some that they kind of weave in to all of them, but we want to get your opinion on it before I give you my opinion on it.
Okay.
Okay, I read a couple of books. This one I read in the past, that I wanted to bring it up because I think it's very interesting. It's called From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Freakin' Weiler. It's a kid's book. So it's written by E.L. Komsberg. It was written in 1967. It was actually our last librarian at our school who did not necessarily get along with our administration. They had different views on literature and what libraries were for, whatever. Anyway, before she left this little duty daily as our school-wide read aloud. And so after she left, I had read it. I went ahead and read it to one of my students. We read the whole thing together. And then I was like, but then they switched it and put a different book. But we had already started reading it. So I was like, I don't want to quit a book because I was trying to model for him. Try to finish a book if you can. It did take us a long time, but it's a very interesting, and it was banned. So, and the reason why is it was perceived as encouraging children to run away from home because the two main characters, their brother and sister, they live in like upstate, like the upper posh parts of New York. And the daughter who feels like she's not treated like her brothers are, decides she wants to run away. And then they run and live in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And then they uncover a mystery together. And it's actually really good. They do talk about beer and dope and stuff like that, which I thought was a little weird in a kid's book. But all in all,
You're from New York. You're from New York, Jody. Hey,
I liked it.
How many books would you have to ban to avoid talking about running away?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was in 1967. Yeah. I mean, it was in 1967. So I think it was more when they started talking about dope and beer and drinking in there. I don't know. But it was, maybe they didn't want a bunch of kids running to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I don't think that people probably would do that.
Plus, if your kids run away to a museum, that's that's a good way. Yeah, I mean, that's much worse things can happen than for your kids to run away to a museum. Yeah.
It's another book or another show where I'm like, man, adults are just really oblivious to what's going on in the world around their kids and stuff like that. So, yeah. I know you've probably all read it, Vincent. Tina Fey's Bossy Pants. Everybody loves Tina Fey. This was
but she's funny. She's great. Yeah.
Hilarious. This book is her memoir. It talks about her rise into her stardom, but what her childhood was like. She was a very awkward child, very off color, would kind of talk back to the adults, and then just all of her life on 30 Rock and SNL, and then her adventures. It's amazing. It was given to me by our good friend Kate, Shelly's neighbor, and she typed me this little cute hand typed letter. Does she write you these often, Shelly?
I don't know. She has special postcards made whenever she writes me a thank you note.
Oh, that's sweet.
I know, it's really cute.
Well, let me tell you what it says. It says, Jody, happy birthday, dear friend. Your kindness, warmth, and fearless approach to leaving priceless art in an alley make the world a better place, not just for those who you know, but for everyone lucky enough to cross your path. I'm so happy to celebrate you today. Love, Kate, Shelly's neighbor. As if I would already know it was Shelly's neighbor, because I mean, look, she even used the whiteout for the apostrophe. Yeah, typed it up. And then she said, P.S. enclosed in this package is one of my most favorite books. If you haven't read it, enjoy the last. If you have had the pleasure of this good read, please pass it along to someone in need of humor. Vincent, I'm passing it along. You need humor right now.
Yeah. But I've always said that, not always, but for the last 10 or so years, I'll tell young people sometimes, hey, Saturday Night Live used to have some teeth. They used to go places, in the late 70s and the 80s where they just couldn't do now, And I saw a sketch that I think Tina Fey wrote that they did in the last 10 years that I felt like had some old Saturday Night Live, vibe to it. I was like, ow, wow, that was, and it was called, you've probably seen it. The sketch was called Meet Your Second Wife. Hey.
No.
And so it was, and it was a game show where it brought on couples.
Yes.
And like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler were like these women who knew the future. And they come out and they're like, well, we just like to show you who your second wife, meet your second wife. And he's like, no, I'm happily married, and they explain to her that this happens, and
it's hilarious.
You've seen it, Shelly?
I had, because
and they bring it. It's like a 9-year-old girl. It's like, yeah, you're gonna marry her 10 years from now.
Gross.
I
was like, that's weird.
Yeah. What is in vitro? What is?
Oh yeah, yeah. It keeps getting worse. Just a comedy sketch by the So you can see where it's going, and I'm thinking that. I mean, she goes. That's the kind of like
Yeah.
that inventive comedy writing. She's
so smart.
That's what it is. Yeah, she's making a point behind the humor. Yeah,
she is. Okay, so I just before we end, but another book that was banned. I don't know if y'all remember this one from when you were a kid, Vincent. I think you're like 10 years or 15 years younger than us, but it's called Sylvester the Donkey, and it's this donkey who finds a magic stone, and he gets turned into a rock, and then everybody's around him, and then somebody touches the magic stone. Anyway, it's a funny little book, but it got banned as well because the art of Sylvester and the Magic Pebbles, by William Steig, it was banned because it had a picture of police officers that were depicted as pigs. And it immediately got banned during that time because, and it was written in 1971. But I think it was because of the time and age, but, it was a very, contentious time for sure. But anyway, it got banned. There's lots of weird reasons why books get banned, especially in elementary school. I'm like, okay, relax. There's sometimes people think that there's a lot of hidden messages, like when the Beatles played their music backwards, I would say, Helter Skelter and stuff like that.
I think when something is banned, it's especially with our, everybody being contrarian now, is it immediately makes you go and read the book.
Absolutely. I'm like,
exactly.
no.
Like, what's the
way?
Yeah.
If I wrote a book in like the 80s or whatever, I'd be like, please ban it. Please.
Yes. Let's ban it. It's going to make everybody go get it really quick. Yeah. It's kind of like, I think when there was, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And people would be like, oh, don't read that book. And then everybody in our school just like ran to go get the book.
Judy Bloom.
Yeah.
I was a young guy, so I know of her. I never read.
I heard Avatar, and she continues to write books, and they are directly written for people like me.
Okay, so Vincent, before we let you go, what do you have? What's in the works? What is going on? And tell us all about it.
Well, I am in the process of launching my podcast, The Conspiracy Farm, and I have the graphics ready to go. I have finalized the music, and tomorrow I will be recording my first full real session, and it's about, I guess, one of the why not start with one of the oldest, biggest conspiracy theories, quote unquote, religion. No, it's about Jesus, basically. But the channel is not about religion, but it's about all the big issues and hidden variables in the universe, things we may have missed in history, that kind of thing. And so coming to grips with what do we think about Jesus, and what's likely to be true, what's not, what may not be true, what do people currently believe, and then what I'm going to focus on is just misconceptions and little things to note about what we actually see in the text. There's a character there that you can get at, and people can think about Jesus in a rational way without having to, people normally think of it as, well, which denomination's story am I going to buy? And it's like, well, when you look at who Jesus was from day one, he'd never fit anybody's particular denomination. He's been a big problem for people who want to make it that clean cut from the very beginning. So yeah, complicated thoughts about Jesus, but I think that's a good place to start. I think, right? So the Bible.
So
Plus, that's what I studied in school. So
yeah, you need to go into your background.
yeah.
So Vincent is starting a new podcast called Conspiracy Farm, and we're excited to hear all of what he has to say. I love your cover art for your podcast. Your music is amazing. And I think all of this stuff is fascinating, whether I agree with it or not. I think it's very fascinating how people think and how they relate to the world around them. And if this helps you guys out there get connected and adjacent to each other and help to go through those ideas that you have and make real connections, I think it's awesome. So you guys, I am so excited. I cannot wait to see what you create, Vincent. And Shelly and I are along for the ride.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Hopefully it's interesting. Yeah. I can
It's
promise that
it's going to be great. You're so interesting, Vincent.
well, I'm going to be going into the dirt roads surrounding Galilee and what that might mean for where Jesus was as a child, and then weird choices that the biblical authors used in terms of Greek. And basically the question is, how much Greek did Jesus know? Because anyway, it's a fascinating issue. Yeah. And we'll talk.
Okay.
tomorrow.
So Vincent, when you're thinking of all this, is it in your head, or do you have a giant dry erase board in front of you with like arrows and lines and everything? Or are you just so like...
It floats around in my head until shortly before the show, and then I'll write out the ideas. And it's mainly to look at, is this 20 minutes of material or 20 hours? Like how can we edit this? And then number two, are you sure about this stuff? Like, that's the main thing. If my favorite word is apparently, or I also really like according to. So, I will assign those as need be. So,
I like to say allegedly.
Yes, there we go. So I like to tell people, I'll tell people, look, I'll let you know when I'm just pulling stuff out of thin air. I'll let you know, look, this is just what Vincent thinks, period. But otherwise, I'll say, look, this is what scholars think. This is what's in the Greek, and here's what this means.
Yes.
I'll try to stick to the facts a little bit.
I love it. I can't wait. It's great. All right. Well,
hopefully.
And it will be released on Sunday, so keep an ear out for it. And Texas. Yeehaw!